Chosen one, you are not here by accident, and you are not listening by chance. Heaven itself arranged this encounter with perfect spiritual timing, and your spirit was drawn here because this word carries your name. Before you were aware of it, God marked this moment, and now you are standing at the edge of a divine threshold. What is about to unfold is not ordinary encouragement. It is a prophetic declaration for the Anointed One who has endured, waited, and remained faithful when others turned away. Chosen One, tonight marks a turning point. You are positioned at the doorway of a supernatural breakthrough, a sudden elevation that did not come by striving, but by obedience. Divine wealth, heaven-sent resources, and a transformation ordained before you were formed are moving toward you now. As it is written in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, "The vision waits for the appointed time, and it will not delay."
What has been hidden is being released, and what has been restrained is being unlocked by God's authority alone. Anointed One, you have carried weight that others could not survive. You have walked through seasons of silence, testing, and refinement, and heaven has taken note. This is why only a remnant receives this kind of transfer, not because of favoritism, but because only a few were prepared to steward it. You are being entrusted because your heart was shaped before your hands were filled. Chosen One, remember this. God does not always strengthen us through words or voices. Sometimes He leaves something quiet, simple, and steady to return to when the moment grows heavy, and what has been prepared rests gently below. Chosen One, you are not defined by the weight of your past or by the seasons where nothing seemed to move. What shaped you was not comfort, but pressure. What formed you was not applause, but endurance. And I say this as someone who has stood in rooms where hope felt thin, where prayers felt unanswered, and where silence was the loudest sound in the day. Heaven does not overlook those seasons. Heaven records them. What you survived became the evidence that qualified you for what is coming next. Anointed One, there is a difference between wanting change and being ready for it. Many desire abundance, but few are prepared to carry what abundance reveals. I have learned this the slow way, watching people receive answers before their inner foundation was strong enough to hold them. What follows is not a reward for effort alone, it is a response to alignment. When your inner life finally matched what you were asking for, heaven took notice. That is why this moment feels heavy in your spirit.
Something is shifting, not emotionally, but structurally. Chosen One, this is not about money as an object. This is about authority returning to its rightful place. Wealth, when released by heaven, is never random. It is assignment-driven. It is sent where trust has been proven under pressure. I have seen what happens when resources arrive before maturity. They fracture people. But when they arrive after surrender, they stabilize entire bloodlines. What is moving toward you carries responsibility, not just relief. And that is why only a remnant can receive it without losing themselves. Anointed One, you have lived the kind of life where you had to learn discernment early. You learned how to read rooms, how to feel shifts in people, how to protect your spirit when support disappeared. Those were not personality traits, they were training. I remember realizing, years into my own journey, that nothing I walked through was wasted.
Even the delays were strategic. Even the closed doors were protection. Heaven was not withholding. Heaven was refining timing. Chosen One. There comes a point where faith is no longer loud, emotional, or dramatic. It becomes quiet, settled, and immovable. That is the kind of faith heaven responds to. Scripture speaks of vision waiting for its appointed time, and that is not poetic language. That is structure. That is order.
When the internal work is complete, the external release follows naturally. You are standing in that intersection now, where preparation and permission meet. Anointed one, this word is not meant to excite you, it is meant to steady you. Sudden elevation can disorient those who are still trying to prove something, but you are not rising to be seen. You are rising because something needs to be built through you. I have watched people chase visibility and lose themselves. What is coming to you will not require performance. It will require stewardship.
And that is why your spirit has been taught patience instead of impulse. Chosen one. You may look back and notice how often things fell apart right before they could have worked out. That was not failure. That was filtration. Certain environments, relationships, and habits could not follow you into what is next. I say this gently, because loss hurts even when it is necessary. I know what it is like to grieve versions of life that almost happened, but heaven does not fund what cannot last. What is being released now is meant to remain. Anointed one, there is a clarity forming in you that did not exist before. You are less reactive, less desperate, less willing to negotiate your peace. That is not exhaustion. That is readiness. When heaven entrusts influence, it first removes the need for validation. You are not here to convince anyone anymore. You are here to move when directed and remain still when told. That level of restraint is rare, and it is precisely why this word is finding you. Chosen one. This moment marks the end of striving and the beginning of alignment. Not everything will happen at once, but nothing will be random anymore. Doors will open without explanation. Resources will align without struggle. Conversations will feel timed instead of forced, and you will recognize the difference immediately because your spirit has learned the texture of resistance. What is coming will not fight you, it will meet you. Anointed one, as we continue, understand this. Heaven does not rush what is secure. What is unfolding now is steady, intentional, and protected, and there is something quiet already prepared to steady you when the weight of transition becomes real. We will return to that when the time is right. Chosen one. There is a reason this message carries weight instead of excitement. When heaven is moving, it does not always feel loud. Sometimes it feels like gravity. You start noticing what drains you. You start noticing what pulls you off center. You start noticing how your body reacts when you say yes to something that should have been a no. That is not fear. That is discernment waking up. And that awakening is often the first sign that elevation is near. Anointed one, I have learned that divine increase is rarely announced with fireworks. It usually begins with subtraction. It begins with a season where you stop chasing what used to chase you. It begins with a season where you would rather be at peace than be impressive. I remember a time when my own prayers were answered in ways that did not look like answers at first. Doors closed, plans failed, timelines shifted, and I thought I was being delayed. In hindsight, I was being protected from arriving too early. Chosen one. Heaven is intervening in your story because your spirit has been trained to hold what you once would have mishandled. Some people cannot receive increase without becoming restless, prideful, or scattered, but you have been through enough to know that new provision is not permission to lose your discipline. You have been through enough to know that abundance without wisdom becomes another form of bondage. That is why your growth has felt slow. Heaven was building a container, not just sending a gift. Anointed one, you have prayed for resources, but what you were really asking for was relief from constant pressure. The kind of pressure that makes you overthink every decision, the kind of pressure that makes you feel guilty for resting, the kind of pressure that makes you feel like one mistake could ruin everything. I know that pressure.
I know what it does to your breathing, your sleep, your patience,
And I know what it feels like when that pressure finally breaks and you realize you are not fighting for survival anymore.
Chosen one. This is where alignment becomes visible. You will feel a new willingness to obey quickly, not because you are scared, but because you are clear. When God speaks, clarity follows. You may not have every detail, but you will have enough peace to move one step at a time. Scripture shows again and again that God leads by daily direction, not by giving every answer at once. That pattern is protection because it keeps you close and it keeps you listening. Anointed one, hear me closely. When provision is released, the enemy of your focus is not always doubt. Sometimes it is distraction that looks like opportunity. I have seen it in my own life. The moment a door opened, 10 more doors appeared, and suddenly I was busy but not fruitful. I was moving but not building. That is why this season will require boundaries, even around good things.
Your yes must become sacred again.
Chosen one. If you have felt a strange fatigue lately, it may not be weakness. It may be the end of an old fight. There is a tiredness that comes from carrying what was never meant to be carried alone. There is a tiredness that comes from being the strong one in every room. There is a tiredness that comes from always watching your back. That kind of tiredness is not fixed by motivation. It is healed by a shift in authority, and heaven is shifting authority in your favor. Anointed one, I want to ground this in reality because prophetic words must land in real life. You might notice practical changes before you see dramatic ones. A conversation that goes differently, a person who suddenly respects your boundary, a bill that gets handled without panic, a job lead that appears at the exact time you needed it. These are not random moments, they are indicators. Small confirmations that the atmosphere is changing around you and that what was locked is starting to open. Chosen one. You have also been carrying something else that most people do not see. The quiet pressure of being misunderstood. The pressure of having a vision you could not fully explain. The pressure of feeling called, but not yet resourced. That is why your faith had to become private and strong. You learned how to keep going without applause. You learned how to pray without needing anyone to agree with you. That kind of faith is rare, and it is not wasted. It becomes the foundation for stewardship. Anointed one. The wealth shift you are sensing is not designed to make you reckless. It is designed to make you responsible without fear. It is designed to give you options without losing your humility. It is designed to put you in positions where you can build, bless, and stabilize, not just escape. Deuteronomy speaks of the Lord opening his good storehouse, and that is not merely poetic. It describes supply that arrives with timing and purpose, supply that blesses the work of your hands. Chosen one. In this part of the journey, heaven is not asking you to imagine billions like a fantasy. Heaven is asking you to recognize the scale of your assignment. When the assignment is large, provision must match. When the impact is wide, resources must widen. Your calling has never been small, even when your season looked small. That is why you could not settle. That is why you kept feeling the pull forward. And that is why this moment feels like a threshold you cannot unsee. Anointed one, stay steady as we go deeper. The next layer is not about excitement. It is about preparation, discernment, and the kind of faith that remains calm when doors swing open quickly. There is a way to receive increase without losing your peace, and that is where we are going next. Chosen one. Now we talk about the inner test that comes right before the outer shift. Most people think the test is lack, but often the real test is what you do when the first signs of increase appear. Do you rush? Do you broadcast? Do you grasp? Do you abandon your routines? Or do you remain anchored, grateful, and quiet? Heaven watches that moment closely, because that moment reveals whether you are chasing a feeling or stewarding an assignment. Anointed One, I have watched this play out in my own life in small ways that later became big lessons. The first time I felt a door open after a long season of waiting, I wanted to sprint through it. I wanted to make up for lost time. I wanted to prove I was ready. But I learned that God does not reward panic. God honors peace. When you move from peace, you choose wisely. When you move from panic, you choose quickly. And quick choices can cost years. Chosen One, you have been trained in patience for a reason.
You did not wake up one day and become disciplined. Discipline was forged in places where you had no choice but to endure. You learned how to keep showing up when you felt invisible. You learned how to stay consistent when you did not feel rewarded. That is why you are dangerous to the spirit of lack. Lack feeds on inconsistency. Lack feeds on exhaustion. Lack feeds on confusion. But you are becoming stable, and stability is a doorway to increase. Anointed One, the reason only a small remnant can receive a large release is not favoritism, it is capacity. A large release exposes motives. A large release exposes wounds. A large release exposes whether you still believe you have to beg for what God already approved. I am saying this with care because many of you have lived in survival mode for so long that peace can feel unfamiliar. You are learning a new way of living where you do not have to clench your jaw and force your way through every door. Chosen One, here is what divine alignment often looks like in ordinary life. You stop arguing with people who want to misunderstand you. You stop explaining yourself to those committed to their narrative. You stop volunteering for burdens that are not yours. You start protecting your mornings. You start protecting your attention. You start noticing that your spirit cannot stay clear when your environment is chaotic. These are not random lifestyle shifts. These are signs that heaven is setting you apart for governance. Anointed One, there is also a spiritual adjustment happening in your perception. You are starting to sense timing. You know when to speak and when to stay silent. You know when to move and when to wait. And you are learning that waiting is not weakness. Waiting is alignment. Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 speaks of the appointed time, and the rhythm is consistent across Scripture. God prepares the person before he releases the provision. He strengthens the root before he expands the reach. Chosen One, let me speak to the part of you that has been secretly afraid of what you asked for. Yes, you prayed for abundance. Yes, you prayed for a shift. But there is also a part of you that wondered if you could handle it. That is honest. That is human. I have felt that too. I have asked for doors to open, then felt nervous when they started to. Not because I lacked faith, but because I understood responsibility. That awareness does not disqualify you. It matures you. Anointed One, this is why heaven has been healing your identity at the same time it prepares your increase. When you know who you are, you do not lose yourself when you receive. When you know who you are, you do not need to perform for approval. When you know who you are, you can bless others without needing control. The wealth shift you are praying into is not meant to build ego. It is meant to build legacy. It is meant to build stability where instability has haunted your family line. Chosen One, you may have noticed a recurring theme in your life. The more you tried to force outcomes, the more resistance you felt. But when you surrendered and stayed faithful, things moved with less struggle. That is not coincidence. That is the signature of a heaven-backed season. The economy of heaven is not driven by striving. It is driven by obedience, stewardship, and timing. Psalm 50 speaks of God owning everything, and that truth matters here. If He owns it, He can root it. If He roots it, He can accelerate it. Anointed One, do not be surprised if the first wave of this shift comes through people, not just through sudden miracles. God often uses relationships as delivery systems. A conversation, a recommendation, a contract, a partnership, a favor that seems small but changes your trajectory. And because you have been hurt before, you may feel cautious. Let caution remain, but let bitterness go. Discernment is protection. Bitterness is a prison. You are being led into connection with clean hands and clear eyes. Chosen One, as this shift unfolds, you will be tempted to measure it by speed. Resist that. Measure it by peace. Measure it by clarity. Measure it by fruit that remains. Real elevation does not make you frantic, it makes you focused. Real provision does not make you reckless, it makes you responsible. Real favor does not make you loud, it makes you grateful and steady. That is the posture of a true steward, and that posture is why heaven trusts you with more. Anointed One, we are approaching the point where the message becomes very practical without losing its sacred weight. Because what heaven releases must be carried correctly on earth, and there is a quiet kind of support that God prepares for you, especially when you feel weak, tired, or uncertain. Not everything God gives comes through noise. Some of His strongest help arrives as something simple, steady, and ready to return to, quietly prepared below. Chosen One. There is a specific tiredness that only appears when the promise is real but unresolved. It is not the tiredness of doubt. It is the tiredness of having stayed faithful longer than anyone saw. You wake up, do what needs to be done, keep your word, guard your spirit, and still nothing announces itself. That does not mean nothing is happening. It means the work has moved underground, where roots strengthen before branches appear. Anointed One, I want to speak to the quiet days, not the dramatic ones. The mornings where you move through routine without applause. The evenings where you replay conversations and wonder if you missed a signal. The moments where your faith feels less like fire and more like weight. I know those moments. I know how endurance feels when it is no longer exciting, only necessary. That is where maturity is formed. Chosen One, waiting does not mean standing still. Waiting means staying aligned when momentum is delayed. It means choosing consistency when emotion fluctuates. It means continuing to honor what you believe, even when nothing confirms it outwardly. This is where many drift. Not because they stop believing, but because they grow tired of holding the tension between what is promised and what is present. You are learning how to hold that tension without hardening. Anointed One, there were days in my own life where I questioned whether perseverance was faith or foolishness. I kept showing up to things that did not yet reward me. I kept protecting my integrity when compromise would have made things easier. And there were nights when I wondered if I misunderstood the timing. What steadied me was not a new word. It was returning to what I already knew to be true. Chosen One. This part of the journey is about remembrance, not nostalgia, but grounding. Remembering why you started. Remembering what you were shown before circumstances complicated it. Remembering the clarity you had before fatigue set in. Heaven often strengthens us by calling us back, not by pushing us forward. Forward movement without grounding can fracture you. Return stabilizes you. Anointed One, daily faith is not loud. It does not announce itself. It looks like getting up when you feel heavy and doing the next right thing. It looks like resisting the urge to emotionally renegotiate your calling on hard days.
It looks like refusing to abandon your inner order just because the outer world feels delayed. This kind of faith does not impress crowds, but it moves heaven. Chosen one. There is also grief in waiting that no one talks about. Grief for the version of life you thought would arrive by now. Grief for energy you spent explaining yourself to people who never intended to understand. Grief for the simplicity you lost when responsibility increased. God does not ignore that grief. He does not rush you past it. He allows it to pass through you so it does not sabotage what comes next. Anointed one, endurance refines motives. When excitement fades, truth remains. When emotional momentum disappears, conviction is revealed. That is why heaven allows waiting to stretch. It exposes whether you were chasing relief or alignment. And you stayed. Even when it cost you comfort, even when it isolated you. That staying matters. Chosen one. You may notice that your prayers have changed. Less dramatic, more honest, fewer words, more listening. That is not decline. That is depth. When faith matures, it stops demanding signs and starts recognizing patterns. You are beginning to sense God's presence in ordinary moments instead of only in peaks. That is a sign of trust. Anointed one, I want to acknowledge something quietly. Faith is often steadied through simple, repeatable reminders rather than constant explanation or dramatic signs. I learned that not during breakthrough, but during endurance. There is something grounding about returning to the same truth when everything else feels unstable. Chosen one. There is a quiet reminder connected to this message that has been placed gently in the pinned comment below. And now we return to the weight of this moment. Anointed one, waiting does not disqualify you from receiving. It prepares you to receive without losing yourself. What you are carrying is not fragile, but it is precise. It requires a steady hand. That is why your pace has been slow. Heaven is not testing your patience to frustrate you. Heaven is protecting what is being formed through you. Chosen one. In seasons like this, temptation does not always come as sin. Sometimes it comes as urgency. The urge to rush, the urge to force movement, the urge to manufacture proof. Resist that urge. What is real does not need to be forced. What is appointed will arrive with its own authority. Anointed one, your consistency has become your altar. Every day you chose to stay aligned, you placed something on it. Every time you rested instead of spiraling, you honored it. Every time you returned instead of quitting, you strengthened it. Altars built quietly hold weight in the spirit. They attract provision without noise. Chosen one, you are not late. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are in the narrow space where preparation finishes and release approaches. This space feels long because it carries consequence. Decisions made here echo later. That is why heaven is careful with you now. Anointed one, there is nothing wasted in this stretch. Not the boredom, not the frustration, not the restraint. All of it is shaping how you will hold what is coming without letting it distort you. That is love, not delay. Chosen one, remain steady, remain present, remain faithful to what you already know. What is forming does not need your anxiety to arrive. It needs your alignment. And alignment is already happening. Chosen one. There is a moment in every long journey where the work shifts from surviving to governing. You can feel it when your reactions slow down, when you stop explaining yourself to people who already decided who you are, when your emotions no longer run the room. That moment does not arrive with celebration, it arrives with responsibility. And that is where you are now. Anointed one, this phase requires a different kind of strength. Not the strength to push, but the strength to hold. To hold your center when others project. To hold your values when shortcuts appear. To hold silence when speaking would cost you clarity. I learned this not through teaching, but through mistakes. I spoke too early. I trusted too fast. I moved before alignment settled. And every time, the correction was gentle but firm. Heaven was teaching me how to govern myself before governing anything else. Chosen one. You are being shaped into someone who can carry authority without announcing it. That is rare. Most people equate authority with volume. Heaven equates it with restraint. When you can walk into a space and not need to dominate it, you are ready to influence it. This is why your temperament has been changing, why drama exhausts you, why noise feels intrusive. That is not withdrawal, that is calibration. Anointed one, the wealth shift connected to your life is not designed to amplify chaos. It is designed to stabilize environments, to bring order where disorder has lingered, to create systems that last longer than emotion, and systems require structure. Structure requires discipline. Discipline requires consistency. That is why your days have become simpler, even while your calling has grown larger. Chosen one. You may notice that heaven is asking less from you in words and more from you in posture. How you respond, how you wait, how you treat what is small. Governance begins there. I remember realizing that the biggest breakthroughs in my life did not come after prayers, but after alignment. After I stopped resisting what was already clear. After I stopped negotiating with what I knew was required. Anointed one, there will be moments ahead where access increases suddenly. Invitations, conversations, opportunities that feel overdue. When that happens, resist the urge to overextend. Abundance does not require you to say yes to everything. It requires you to choose correctly. And you are being trained to choose from clarity, not pressure. Chosen one. Heaven does not entrust influence to those who still need to prove they deserve it. Influence is given to those who already know who they are. That is why identity work preceded provision in your life. That is why certain relationships fell away. They were not aligned with the version of you that could steward what is coming. And while that separation hurt, it prevented fragmentation later. Anointed one, governing yourself also means honoring rest, not escape. Rest that restores clarity, rest that keeps you from burning fuel that cannot be replaced. I learned the hard way that exhaustion distorts discernment. Tired people make loud decisions. Grounded people make wise ones. You are learning to listen to your body, your spirit, and the signals that tell you when to pause. Chosen one. The pressure you once felt to constantly be productive is loosening. That pressure was never from God. It came from fear. Fear of falling behind. Fear of missing your moment. Fear of becoming irrelevant. That fear is losing its grip because relevance is not your assignment. Faithfulness is. And faithfulness attracts provision without anxiety. Anointed one. The coming increase will ask you to be steady when others are impressed. It will ask you to remain humble when attention grows. It will ask you to remember the quiet seasons when no one noticed your discipline. That memory will keep you grounded. It will protect you from drifting into entitlement. Chosen one. There is a reason heaven waited until now. You no longer need applause to stay motivated. You no longer need urgency to stay faithful. You no longer need external confirmation to trust internal clarity. That is governance, and governance always precedes multiplication. Anointed one, stay anchored. The pace will change, but your center must not. What is approaching will reward steadiness, not speed.
and you are already becoming someone who can hold both authority and peace at the same time. Chosen one. As the shift draws closer, another layer becomes visible. Responsibility deepens, not in weight, but in clarity. You begin to see that what you asked for will change how you live, not just what you have. And that realization can feel sobering. This is where many people secretly hesitate, not because they lack faith, but because they sense the cost of stewardship. Anointed one. I remember the moment I understood that receiving more would require me to be less available to distraction, less available to chaos, less available to rescuing people who refused to grow. That realization was not harsh. It was freeing. It gave me permission to protect what mattered without guilt. And you are stepping into that same permission now. Chosen one. This part of the journey is about alignment becoming embodied, not something you think about, but something you live. Your decisions begin to come from a settled place. You no longer need to rush to respond. Silence no longer feels threatening. Waiting no longer feels like stagnation. These are signs that trust has replaced fear. Anointed one, heaven-backed increase requires a clean internal environment, not perfection, but honesty. You have already done much of that work. You faced patterns others avoided. You questioned motives. You corrected habits quietly. You owned your missteps without collapsing into shame. That inner cleanliness matters more than talent. It is what keeps provision from becoming poison. Chosen one. There will be moments ahead when old voices resurface. Doubt disguised as practicality. Fear disguised as wisdom. Pressure disguised as opportunity. Do not argue with those voices. Do not wrestle them. Simply return to what has already been settled in you. The truth that has sustained you this far will not fail you now. Anointed one, daily faith at this level looks ordinary from the outside. You manage your time, you protect your mornings, you keep your word, you maintain your routines. Nothing about it looks supernatural, yet everything about it is. Miracles often ride on consistency, not spectacle. Chosen one. The wealth shift connected to your life is meant to expand your reach without shrinking your soul. That is why your soul has been tended to first. I have seen people receive provision before their inner life was ready, and it fractured them. That will not be your story. Your increase will feel integrated, not invasive. Anointed one, as things begin to move, remember this. Speed is not proof of blessing. Peace is. Access is not proof of calling. Stewardship is. Visibility is not proof of favor. Fruit that remains is. These measures will keep you aligned when others misinterpret your path. Chosen one, you are approaching a season where what you once prayed for will require maintenance. That maintenance is not burdensome. It is sacred. It keeps the flow clean. It keeps your heart soft. It keeps your priorities clear. And it ensures that what arrives does not overwhelm you. Anointed one, there is no rush from heaven. What is unfolding is intentional, protected, and precise. The ground has been prepared. The container has been strengthened. The timing is aligning. And you are not being asked to force anything. You are being asked to remain present and faithful. Chosen one, hold steady, keep returning, keep honoring the quiet disciplines that carried you this far. What is coming will not need hype to sustain it. It will need the kind of faith that has already been forged in silence. Chosen one. As the final layers come into view, something subtle but unmistakable begins to happen. The noise fades. Not because life gets quieter, but because your spirit stops reacting to everything around it. You are no longer pulled by urgency, comparison,
or the need to prove progress. That is not indifference. That is authority settling into place. Authority does not announce itself. It stabilizes the atmosphere. Anointed One, this is the stage where trust becomes embodied. You are no longer rehearsing belief. You are living from it. The questions that once circled your mind no longer need answers to stay quiet. You have learned that some confirmations arrive only after obedience, not before. That understanding changes how you move through each day. You stop waiting for permission to be faithful. Chosen One. I want to speak honestly here. This part can feel lonely, even though nothing is wrong. Not everyone can walk with you at this altitude of responsibility. Some relationships were built on shared struggle, not shared future. Letting that reality settle without resentment is part of your refinement. I had to learn that distance does not always mean disconnection. Sometimes it simply means alignment changing shape. Anointed One, you may find yourself protecting your inner world more intentionally now. Your attention, your words, your energy. You are not hiding, you are guarding what has been entrusted to you. This is not selfishness, it is stewardship. What is being prepared for you requires clarity, not constant access. Chosen One, as provision begins to organize itself around your life, you will notice that fear tries one last tactic. It will suggest that you are about to lose control, that responsibility will swallow you, that peace will disappear once things move quickly. Those suggestions are familiar, but they are no longer persuasive. You have already lived without certainty. You know how to stand without guarantees. That experience will not abandon you now. Anointed One, the difference is this. Before, you were enduring without provision. Soon, you will be stewarding with provision. That shift does not change who you are. It reveals who you have become. And who you have become is someone who can hold more without becoming less. Chosen One. Heaven has been patient because what is being released carries weight beyond your own life. This is not just about relief from pressure, it is about positioning, influence that brings order instead of chaos, resources that restore instead of inflate, reach that builds instead of consumes. That kind of impact requires someone who can stay grounded when outcomes expand. Anointed One, you have been trained in restraint. That restraint will now become discernment in motion. You will know when to advance and when to wait. You will know when to invest and when to hold. You will know when to speak and when silence preserves more than words ever could. These are not instincts you were born with. They were forged. Chosen One. As we move toward the final stretch of this message, understand this. What is unfolding is not fragile. It does not depend on your emotional state. It does not require you to perform belief perfectly. It has already been authorized. Your role now is not to accelerate it, but to remain aligned with it. Anointed One, the last adjustments are internal. Trust settling into the body, peace becoming the default, expectation becoming quiet confidence. You are not waiting anymore. You are standing ready, without tension. That posture is rare, and it is exactly what heaven responds to. Chosen One, stay where you are. Do not rush the ending of this season. The next one will arrive fully formed. Chosen One. This is where everything becomes still before it moves. Not empty stillness, charged stillness, the kind that exists right before something irreversible takes shape. You may feel it in your body more than in your thoughts. A steadiness, a calm alertness, a sense that you no longer need to search for what is coming because it is already near. Anointed One, you have been prepared to recognize this moment without needing spectacle. You do not need signs to stay faithful. You do not need urgency to stay obedient. You do not need reassurance to stay aligned. That independence from external confirmation is not detachment, it is trust fully grown. Chosen one, what heaven is releasing does not require you to change who you are. It requires you to remain who you have become. The discipline, the discernment, the patience, the humility. These are not temporary traits, they are permanent structures, and they will support what is coming without collapse. Anointed one, there is something important to understand as this message concludes. Elevation does not erase responsibility, it clarifies it. You will not be asked to carry what you cannot manage. You will not be rushed into decisions without grace. You will not be left without guidance. The same presence that sustained you in scarcity will guide you in increase. Chosen one, I have learned that the most sacred moments in life are rarely dramatic. They feel simple, ordinary, almost anticlimactic. And then later, you realize everything changed right there. This is one of those moments. Not because something visible happens now, but because something irreversible has already been set in motion. Anointed one, your life is about to reflect what your spirit has been carrying quietly for a long time. Integrity, depth, stability, and yes, provision that matches purpose. You will not need to convince anyone of what God has done. The fruit will speak for itself. Chosen one, remain attentive to the ordinary rhythms of your life. That is where alignment is maintained. Eat well, rest when needed, keep your word, protect your mornings, honor your boundaries. These are not distractions from destiny, they are the container that holds it. Anointed one, when movement accelerates, remember what steadied you here. The quiet return, the consistent practices, the grounded faith that did not demand explanation. Those will remain your anchor when new territory opens. Chosen one, nothing has been missed. Nothing has been delayed beyond purpose. Nothing has been wasted. You are stepping out of preparation and into stewardship, and stewardship carries its own grace. Anointed one, what is coming will not overwhelm you. It will meet you. It will fit the life you have built inwardly, and it will move with the same quiet authority that has marked this entire journey. Chosen one, remain present, remain faithful, remain aligned. What has been authorized is now approaching. Chosen one, you have reached the end of this message, but not the end of what heaven has already set in motion. What has been spoken over you is not symbolic or distant. This is your kairos moment, your divinely appointed time when alignment meets readiness and the unseen begins to take form. A supernatural transfer is already moving, not rushed, not delayed, but perfectly timed for the one who learned how to stand without wavering. Anointed one, receive this as a sealing. You are not behind. You are not overlooked. You are not late. Heaven has watched your restraint, your obedience, your quiet endurance, and tonight marks a turning where stewardship replaces survival. Walk forward with gratitude, not anxiety. What is coming will meet you with peace, not pressure. Chosen one, remain faithful in the small rhythms that kept you grounded. Stay aligned with what sharpened your discernment. Look ahead with expectation, not urgency, knowing that what unfolds next carries grace equal to its weight. Anointed one, if your spirit feels stirred, you are welcome to remain connected, to leave a quiet word, to stay present with what is unfolding here, as led. There is also a simple reminder resting gently in the pinned comment and the description, meant for moments when faith steadies best without explanation. Chosen one, go forward covered, confirmed, and entrusted. What has been authorized in heaven will manifest on earth, and you will recognize it when it arrives.